You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keetin. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show.
Being as we're doing, and we're here doing another AFTERBUZZ After Show for Nashville, episode 20. We're getting down to the very end of it, called A Picture from Life's Other Side. I'm your host, JJ Jurgens, and I'm joined tonight by...
my name's Keetin Marchi.
And I'm Jenifer Golden.
Well, a huge episode tonight, so we're going to get to the meaty stuff a little bit later, but we're going to start out just talking with some of the smaller stories up front. So first, ladies, let's start talking about Lamar and Tandy and their relationship. And
I think that Coleman's plan is starting to work. He's turning them against each other from the inside.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Whenever they go back to that story, I get really bored because everything else is so intense that's happening on, and every time I'm like, okay, now I can breathe and think about what just happened, and then I'm like, wait, what's going on between those two? I don't really know.
It's really tense and uncomfortable and jarring, I would say, and very soap opera-y.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good way to put it. I feel the same. There was so much other good stuff tonight that it was kind of like, okay, let's get back to it.
Right.
But I did like seeing Lamar come back because even though he can be such a jerk, I don't know, I just like to have him enter that boardroom like he did and kind of push her out of her seat and take control again because it's fun having him mix things up a little bit.
And I like that him and Rayna are starting to get along. It makes me happy for Rayna, really, because it's nice to see that she finally has a father figure, and you know, you could see that they obviously did come from a good relationship back when she was a kid, and it's nice. I'm like, yay, go Rayna and Lamar.
She's clearly going to need him soon, so.
Yeah.
She even called in that favor tonight where she needed him to help out with the restraining order from Teddy.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had her back on that one.
I like it. I still don't understand why he can't love both daughters at the same time.
It's weird.
It is weird, and some of our YouTube viewers actually wrote it in also and said the same thing. It's like, they're both your kids. You don't see Rayna picking one of her daughters over the other one.
Yeah, and it's a little strange. You would have thought that maybe after he learned, you know, to put this past with Rayna behind him, that he would be like, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to have that tension anymore, and kind of change. But now, no, it's like he has to balance it out and be mean to one of them.
Well, I think he always wanted to be closest to Rayna because I think Rayna reminded him the most of his wife, and so I think now that she's kind of let him back in, he's probably just grabbing onto it and just like he's always had Tandy, has been like at his beck and call, like his little puppy dog.
Henchman.
Yeah, very, very good word for who Tandy is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
We even sound bored of the storyline.
I know. We're like, okay, next. Moving on. Don't even want to talk
interesting stuff.
Yeah, let's get into let's talk about Scarlett.
Oh, that girl.
Yeah.
She has a lot of hair and not a lot to say.
Cut your hair, please. Cut your hair.
But it is beautiful hair. I will give her that. It's just a lot. It's like donate to Locks of Love. Locks for Love, Locks.
I was saying tonight, it did seem like it just grew again because I remember like it always being long, but like tonight it was way down like almost to her butt, and I was like, wow, it just really.
And then it's
really
in some hairstyles, like it's up and it looks like there's no way it's as much hair as it is when it's down. So I think it's definitely probably a wig or major
extensions.
Yeah.
The bump it or whatever that thing is that you put under your hair and it poofs it up.
Yeah, I feel like she just needs to get rid of all that other, just maybe chop it off, nice little cut at the shoulder, straighten it out or something.
She's so pretty, too.
If she straightened it out, she would sit down and she'd sit on the hair. Can you imagine how long it would be if she straightened it?
It would be like a tail for a wedding dress, like that thing that just goes on.
A veil?
No.
A train.
Train. Oh, I combined words. It's late. It's late.
It is late. It's very, very late.
What you're saying. Well, she had a big night tonight, so she sang at the Grand Ole Opry, which we can understand her when she sings the song.
We can.
You know?
She is a little bit cheesy, though. I don't know what it is. I wonder if she's that way in real life. I like that she's like the sweet character, and she is a good juxtaposition. Hey, that's a big word. To Gunnar and Avery at whatever time they enter her lives and destroy her life and all that. But she takes it to like an nth degree where she's so cheesy. It's hard to watch her. It takes you out of the show.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, I saw her sing live on The View, actually, when they had the big Nashville show. And she's so much more comfortable when she's not playing, like, I mean, when it's not Scarlett. Like, the actress, it just seems so much more real, like, when she sings as herself rather than, like, Scarlett, she's so awkward when she's performing. Yeah. And she makes weird faces when she sings. I love her voice. I absolutely love her voice, and I love that song that she sang, but it really takes
she's
me out of it.
She's a little jittery. Like, she does things like opens her arms like fireworks, you know, like on that line she always like put her arms out, and it was like
she kind of like looks like a penguin, like she like has her hands here and she's
like, she's very jumpy, and she plays the like scared lamb, as Lauren would say. We'll do tribute to Lauren tonight. She had some good one-liners for Lauren tonight, but she was very jumpy, and the way she talks to people, she's just like it's like, what? Why are you so jumpy? Where are you going?
So do we think that it was Avery that gave her the little whisk?
Yes, that had to be an inside
Avery.
joke about like playing house or whatever that meant. I don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think our guest viewer that watched it with us tonight may be right that maybe she used to sing into that around the kitchen or something.
That's cute.
I thought that was a good call on that one.
And as Lauren would say, also enter Avery, because
Avery.
Gunnar is taking Avery's role in terms of being the bad boy and like choosing his career over their relationship and making
gross bad boy. He knows.
He's a train wreck. He's a hot train wreck.
Yeah, none of us were fans of the new look for him tonight. Like the greasy hair, he just is not the bad boy type, so it's not working.
No, and so he gets in a fight at the bar, and Will is there to back him up, which is actually nice, and Will has grown on me a lot.
I agree, and we all were big fans of his song tonight. Amazing.
Oh my gosh, I like got goosebumps just watching it.
What was it called again?
I have it written down.
Something man.
I don't know, but he is one hell of a man. I'm telling you.
I wrote it. I just wrote it down because I saw it actually on the preview before we came here tonight. And it was a song by Gary Allan and Willie Nelson, and it was a beautiful song. Something about him being on the road.
Somebody man's life. Something man's life.
Man, be in my
phone's
life.
right there. I can look it up.
A simple man's life? I don't know.
No. It's about a like singer. It's like a dude who's
about
on the
being
road.
on the road.
Right.
And it's right there.
Wait, so this enter good point. Someone had commented once in the past couple of weeks about how I use the phrase grow a pair or like grow some balls, and how that was just not appropriate to say, and like it's very sexist and so on. But tonight they said it in the episode. Yeah, so it's a phrase. I don't really mean that everybody should have a pair of balls, like, and that everybody should be men. It just represents like testosterone, I guess. And women have testosterone. Chutzpah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Totally. It was a great redemption moment for Jen the Jew, because I agreed when you said it the first time, and I agree, and
I felt bad too when somebody called me out. I was like, I'm not that person that's like sexist. No, it just means, be brave. Have some. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and I think that it was.
You wanted to say it again.
Yeah, grow some balls.
Yeah, I mean, it was great in this episode because, like we said, it was finally Scarlett did. When she picks up Gunnar, bails him out of jail, but then isn't just gonna be like, oh, it's okay, and the fact that he missed her hugest night of her career so far, to be an idiot and only be selfish, and she could have been that wallflower again, but no, she.
I appreciated the way she handled that. I had a lot of respect for her because it's a testament to her character that she plays and her demeanor in the show, that she handled it with grace. She's very graceful all the time.
That's a great way to describe her.
Thank you. And she didn't freak out. She wasn't she didn't just leave him there. She wasn't teaching him a lesson. She was just like, okay, you're out now, but we're done here. I can't be around this. Thank you.
You guys just reminded me about something about like this episode is, I felt like this episode was so great, but I felt like it was almost predictable. They kind of like told us what was going to happen after like the next commercial break ended. Like they kind of gave things away, I felt.
Yeah.
Which I was okay with. I still thought it was a great episode, but with each of these storylines, I just felt like they they gave a lot away before they needed to.
There was a lot that happened in this one episode where, you know, we were saying at the end of it, like, episode 20, really? Like, that's when all this is going to happen. And then 21 obviously is going to be amazing too. But there was so much they shoved into this one episode where they could have, you know, had a little bit more in each one of the episodes. They just dragged it on.
I agree. Like, the mom story for me could have happened a couple weeks ago. Like, we could have gone
been a
through
slower
Dante
progress.
and yeah.
It was just bam, makes decisions and dies. Like, really? I mean, I guess we'll get there. But going back to Will and this whole thing, I liked Will's conversation he had with Gunnar about, you know, how he got to be this way and why, you know, he makes the choices he does, and he apologized. And I felt bad for him. He didn't seem so sneaky and slimy. And Scarlett even commended him for being himself always. And yes, he's pushy, and yes, he's, you know, kind of arrogant, and he steps on her name and threw her name out, but he's at least still him every time.
You know what you're going to get with him. Where with Avery and with Gunnar now, you don't know.
Right.
You never know what you're going to get. And I think that's what Scarlett is so wanting to find, because I think she's finally found herself. So she doesn't want to continue to let people who don't know who they are in her life, because it's just going to confuse her and put her off the track that she's on, and she's on a really good track right now.
She has. And that's what they say, like, that you outgrow someone, that you'll know when you know.
Makes me sad, though. I loved Gunnar. Gunnar was getting hot, too, and then all of a sudden you just go, boom.
I agree.
Plummeted.
I was always on Team Gunnar too. Like, I wanted to see that one happen, and I was never. But now when Avery shows up, and it's like, well, okay. Like, what do you think is going to happen with the dynamic between him either going for Juliet or for Scarlett now?
I don't think he's going to go for Juliet. I think that he is learning his lessons a little bit, and he's been humbled by his roadie career that he's now embracing. I think he made the right choice when he didn't sleep with her. I think that he's, you know, kind of earning his respect. Like Rayna actually said to Juliet in the episode, it's a little bit of a parallel. Like, he is back to square one. He realizes he chose his career over Scarlett, and he should actually be alongside her.
Yeah. And I remember earlier, like, when I had hosted with you guys, like, way back when we had discussed that, like, Avery never used to do anything that made you like him. Never. And now he's been doing all these little things where it's like we're finally getting a chance to like this character. I have never once wanted to like him until like maybe the past 3 episodes.
I could use a haircut and maybe a quick shave.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then, and then, you know, I don't know what he would look like.
A little bit of a tan too. He's pretty pale.
But you know what? All those things, and he would be a breakout star.
Yeah. He has a great voice. You just close your eyes and just listen.
I don't like his songs, though. I think they need to give him better songs. I don't know who he should resemble, but right now it's a little bit rough.
He never got a good song. Like, whoever picked Will's song for him tonight, amazing. Like, that was like the best song. Avery needs a song like that, like some.
Yeah, where we can see his personality come through, and we can connect to him a little bit. Not those songs about like thorn bracelets or whatever, a thorn, and I don't know what it was, but it was not good.
Kind of like Bret Michaels-ish. Like, that's what he sounds like a little bit now, and I want him to be different.
Be different. Be you, but be different.
Yeah.
So we also saw at the beginning too, just touch on this quickly, about Scarlett kind of being Juliet being her usual self, though, kind of confronting him about the fact that he didn't go and sleep with her, and like
she's all ego.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and obviously as this episode played on, I now feel bad for her, but it took like 5 confrontations with her mother and being nasty to everybody, and the water guy who brought her warmer water than she wanted, and Juliet calling her out. I think that Juliet calling her out put her like a little bit in her place, where she then turned it around the rest of the episode, but she does need to earn respect. Who is she? Like, okay, for instance, I'll throw out a country scenario. Taylor Swift. When Kanye West jumped on stage and like almost robbed her of her award, she handled that with grace. She earned people's respect. She's a young girl. She didn't lash out. She wasn't crazy. She didn't go on a bender. She didn't sleep with everybody. I mean, granted, she does sleep with everyone, but like, I
don't believe that, T Swift.
I almost don't care because it's laughable.
Good girl.
She like writes a silly song. She's like writing in her journal, like sign a yearbook. Like, I don't care, really. Go to prom. I don't care, you know. But she handles things gracefully. She may write a song about it, but she handles it gracefully. So you're not mad at her for anything.
Yeah.
She can do no wrong. you know? Juliet, who are we talking about?
Yeah,
Juliet. She can do lots wrong. And she even says that in the episode. She's like, no one loves me, or I don't pick the right people, and this is my life. I'm a train wreck. She's committing to it. I say turn it around.
Yeah. Let's dive into her, talking about her more. She also, you were talking about how she had the comment to her mom. She said when she was getting blackmailed, and she's like, wouldn't it have been cheaper for you to go into AA like every other addict, and like
instead of getting a companion?
Yeah. So she never takes responsibility. The fact that she didn't. Her mom had nothing to do with her deciding to sleep with her sponsor.
And by the way, if you really don't want your mom around, and you hate your mom that much, don't keep her around.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. You keep her here to be your punching bag. Does that really make you feel better? Like, your mom is the only one in your court, and we see that.
Yeah. I mean, Juliet has been a bitch, like, since the beginning. Like, that is her character. That is who she is, and I'm fine with that. I loved her at the beginning, but she's just been, like, horrible at the, like, towards the end.
There's,
like no redeemable qualities anymore.
Right.
It's horrible. And, like, it just makes me, I think she's, like, bipolar. I don't know. Maybe that'll come out later that she's bipolar.
Maybe that's
twist for next season, guys. Juliet is bipolar.
It almost has to be something like that, because it's way too off, you know. So
I want to like a little bit about her. I don't want to necessarily like her all the time, but something has to soften, because she is kind of painful to watch. She's as uncomfortable as it is to watch Avery when he was going through his like weirdness, and he was unlikable. And same thing with Lamar. Now that he's softer with Rayna, he's tolerable. When he's with Tandy, he's not. But you have to soften up. It's just, you're like hitting us over the head with like nastiness.
Yeah, and you need a little bit of balance to just, everybody's got some balance to them.
Yeah.
do you guys think that's like in her acting choices, or do you think that's like in the script? Do you think she could like be like?
I feel like it might be the script. I mean, those are the lines. I mean, she's delivering them harshly, I guess, but they're still writing that.
Yeah. I think she's delivering their lines well for what they intended, but I think they should change their intentions.
Yeah.
Because it's in every situation to every single person. It's with her mom. Then it's when she sees Rayna and Deacon together. Then she's all snotty about that. And
yeah, she's starting to be nicer to her assistant, though. That took a little bit of time. She was nice to Dante, but that was so fake, and we didn't like Dante, so we didn't really trust that anyway. And she took her mom's companion, and then blames her mom for this happening.
Yeah. What's her assistant's name?
Oh, Ash, Melanie.
Whitney, where are you?
I know.
Well, that girl that she's nice to. But it's nice that she has kind of that female, almost maybe not role model, but that female companion who she really can trust. I don't think she really has ever had somebody that she could trust.
Well, unless we find out that this assistant girl is the one like leaking things.
Don't do that to her. Poor Juliet. Like, there's just too much happening to her. Like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Well, leave her alone.
Yeah, really. And by the way, you were saying you're like every commercial gave away the next thing, and we knew what was coming in the next segment because they showed it in the commercial before, or they led it into the next thing, which was predictable. We knew that at the finale, 2 people would die. I didn't know it was going to be tonight.
Yeah. I didn't either. I thought they were saving it for the next.
Are 2 more people going to die?
I can't imagine 4 people are whacked.
No, I think it was 2. But then we keep hearing about some big explosion that's supposed to happen. So,
like an actual explosion or an explosion of emotions?
On the internet, it was an explosion.
There's no explosions in the preview for next week.
No, I mean, it will get explosive with the diabolical nature of the storylines.
Yeah.
But I don't know that there's really, unless there's an explosion like Michael Jackson where it was on stage and the fire and all that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that, but
no. We shall see.
You predicted, though, I think, wasn't it you that said, like, we think Dante would be one of the people that died, and then something about Jolene.
I had a feeling Jolene was going to kill either herself or him, and then we talked about she was hiring a hitman, something. I knew they would, I think I had a feeling those 2 would die, but it would be together. It wouldn't be separately.
And, Juliet's trying so hard to stay out of the press, and I actually respected her for confronting the issue because when you tell the story, you don't have to answer the questions. You can control the message. But I respected that choice to call it out and, go that route. But then we see her mom make an even bigger story. Yeah. And that's so tragic. And now she's really alone. And that's when I started to feel for her.
For Juliet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was crying. She looked like a mess.
Yeah.
But, you just lost your mom, who saved you from what would have been an embarrassment of a different level. But I mean, now she also has no mom.
Yeah.
And she found both of them.
Oh, gosh. And there were 2 people that she loved at one point.
Right.
That's like the worst. I just, and the saddest thing about it is even though she's so close to her assistant, in that last scene with her, she's alone.
Right.
In a house that Dante bought for her.
Yeah.
That she lived with her mother. Partially, part of the time.
It's interesting. She also said that comment to Avery about not knowing, about love. But I think now she'll start to realize that she loved her mom, and her mom loved her because obviously she went to know and to help her.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, like, if, like, the scenario played out where her mom got caught, like, if they didn't kill off the mom this episode, and like her mom went to jail,
that would have been worse.
That would have been so horrible.
Right.
I mean, the whole scenario is horrible, but it's just, poor Juliet. Now I'm like feeling bad for her after talking about it.
I know. What do you think this is going to do to change her? Do you think she's going to get even worse and lash out even more, or start drinking herself? Or do you think this will be kind of the, huge wake up call that she needed to kind of change the way that she treats people?
I think she's going to win the CMA award.
I think that she is going to. I think next season is going to lead up into her like fighting, being an alcoholic. And I think it's going to bring her and Deacon back together because I think Deacon's going to relapse as well. And I think they're going to, and then Rayna's going to get all angry. This is all next season. Sorry, I'm writing you guys as like the script for next season. But
I think
this is what I want to see.
You're not too far off. I think that it all is very plausible. I think that she will turn around. I think that they've got to let up on this nastiness because, they're showing her a softer side of her now and hopefully she turns around. God, I can't watch it if she continues on this path. It's been 20 episodes of this nasty human being.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think this might be what they needed to kind of make a shift in the character and then have some, her grow in a different way, hopefully next season. So
that's why I think she's going to win, because I think that she has to have something that then makes her like have a little bit of a positive side. She can't just go down a dark hole.
And I don't think it's going to, it's not going to affect Rayna at all whether she wins or loses.
No, she's won already, 4 or 5?
Yeah, but
she obviously has bigger fish to fry.
She's got her label going now, all kinds of, Well, why don't you guys write into us and tell us what you think before we go into our final episode of the season. We love all the comments that you guys have given us so far. We read them, we listen to them, take notes. So we appreciate you going into iTunes, on YouTube, rating us and giving us your feedback. So thank you. All right, so should we move into the big final topic of the evening?
Yeah.
All right, let's hit Deacon and Rayna and
God, they're so hot together. Like, really, like, they have the best chemistry of, like, any couples I've been watching on TV right now. Seriously.
I do always feel, though, like, Deacon's very hot and heavy and, like, super gung-ho about the whole thing. And she's, which we know why she's reserved about it and kind of, like, hesitant about really falling because she's got this big lie that has been, plaguing her. But, I mean, they're really great together.
Yeah. Yeah, I love every time they're on scene. It's like together. It's so we waited for this so long throughout the season that I enjoy seeing it. It's like you just can't get enough of their cute moments, And when they have the moment with the kids and Deacon's playing the guitar and they sing our favorite song again, which we're all happy they brought that back again. It's just such a sweet moment, And it's fun to
Teddy
see.
had to come in and ruin it.
Yeah,
of course.
Teddy ruins everything.
But again, talking about repeat your growing a pair, but Rayna also, had that good interaction with Teddy at that point too.
She stood up for herself and said, like, you can't control the future of my life. Like, we've already, established that we are not together anymore. You can't dictate what I do moving forward. And I like that she did say she'd keep her promise. She is very loyal to the girls and what they had as a family unit. So I think that's nice.
And what Lauren would say, another moment too, he made a good point saying that, when she said you had the affair, and he said, well, you emotionally.
Right. We've been waiting for him to say that.
So, yeah, which is a good point too. So they both had their things they did to each other. But
and she also pointed out that, they loved each other once. They did. And it is kind of sad because we saw their relationship go through so many ups and downs this season. I mean, like they were they were kind of far apart, and then they really got on a good note together, and they were helping each other, and then they fell apart again. And we've really seen them kind of grow and change, and it's really sad to see two people who have been so like good to each other, kind of now that they're falling apart, like turn into get nasty, because they're both good people.
But that does happen with divorce, and like they dealt with the Peggy thing, and then they dealt with now Deacon's the boyfriend. I think it would be so unusual if there were no bumps in this divorce road, because that's just not natural.
And they're too big of, I guess, public figures.
Right. And now he's all gung-ho about this mayor, being the mayor, and like, I don't know. He's showing his power by putting everyone in their place, but I mean, that's lonely at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely is taking advantage of his taking advantage of his position. Like when he had the restraining order against him, we were all talking about that. We don't even know that.
Like, is that allowed?
We needed a lawyer here tonight to tell us. Like,
someone call or write in, because if there's no danger to the child, I guess they then brought up the alcohol. But if he hasn't had a sip of alcohol in 13 years that they said, how is that?
That's why the judge ruled against it, because
yeah. But I didn't know if you could just. If I could just go do that against you for without any sort of reason or anything, you can just go ahead and...
If you have joint custody over 2 children.
But what's the basis behind it? Like, I just don't like that guy, so no.
And they haven't even gone through, I don't even think there's a point to where they're at joint custody yet, though, because their divorce hasn't gone through any of the process, right? So there's no...
They're skipping all that stuff. I think that's happening in the background because it's just not interesting, and like they are really peacefully getting divorced, I guess, so they're skipping that stuff.
Yeah. I'm glad we don't have to deal with that, because that kind of courtroom scene was a little boring. So I don't need any more of those.
No, but so all the while that this is all going on and they're out in court, Maddie is home snooping.
This is what I called. I literally said before we even sat down to watch the episode, I was like, I bet you any amount of money Maddie will find out or overhear. She's going to be the one who finds out that Deacon's her dad or Teddy's not her dad. And then, lo and behold,
she finds the magical box that's just placed nicely there,
and that she knows the combination to. I don't know.
I don't think it had a safe or anything on it, but like she picked the one box in the closet that had information in it about her.
Well, I think too. My parents had a box like that growing up. It's like the fireproof box. So they would put some like papers in there, and I think ours was always open too.
Yeah, we had one too.
Like we're I knew my birth certificate, social security cards, things like that were all in there, and I remember seeing it in the closet. So,
but why would she do that? Like, what made her go into that box? Like, she thinks things are up, and she's questioning her mom, and she's eavesdropping on her phone conversations and stuff. But what makes her think that it's a piece of information in the box?
Do you think she had any idea? Like maybe
no, because even Deacon doesn't know.
But she has been having such like a like she knows something's up with her and her dad. And you have to know deep down. Like, especially when you start hitting, like, your teen years and, like, when things like this start happening, you have to start, I'm sure she's questioning things, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt if she's just being this little snooper. And, like,
yeah. Well, I wondered if, she, somehow was questioning anything, and since she knew when she heard her mom say, I love you to him, and has that conversation, and then her mom just kind of brushes it off, like, I'll tell you when you're old enough, So, your brain at that point, when you're a little kid, you're trying to figure out everything, so maybe she...
Has there ever been any lines, I can't remember, because I know there was that one before the daddy-daughter dance last week. She was, like, saying, like, she was so mad at her dad. Was there ever a time when she was like, I don't want you to be my dad, or I wish you weren't my dad?
No.
Okay. I'm making things up in my head trying to write the story. So.
You are. You're rewriting history here.
Maddie, I'm just sticking up for you, girl.
I'm just trying to understand.
But meanwhile, the previews for next week are crazy. So she clearly goes to Deacon's house and knocks on his door and is like, are you my dad? Like, that was so weird, but fine.
Why don't you talk to your mom, girl? Like, seriously.
How do you think, well, I mean, she doesn't know. So she probably assumes that Deacon would know the answer to this if he is her father, but he doesn't know. But what makes me upset about this is, and I guess I set it up appropriately, was that Deacon said to Rayna, whatever it is, it's not the end of the world. You can tell me. You don't have to tell me. I want to be with you. It doesn't matter. He said that don't take it back when you say that anything can go, because now he's mad and then we see him drinking, and that really makes me upset because that is going to turn things for the worse.
And this is the other thing. Like, you find out you have a daughter, so you're going to start drinking.
Like, that's the choice.
Yeah. Like, really?
But then
really?
we don't have that disease.
I know. Okay.
So
I'm sorry.
we don't understand why he would do that. You know, Jolene just did what she did too and relapsed, but she relapsed with the intention of probably like ending it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I do also think though, to me, that's probably the most hurtful thing Rayna could ever do to him in his entire life. I mean,
she robbed him of a child.
Yes. And all those memories and all the, I mean, just look at how much he was enjoying, you know, just singing the song with her and knowing that that's his kid and he missed out on, I mean, everything
I'm
growing
sure
up is just probably the most selfish thing she could have ever done.
Absolutely. But I'm sure she'll flip it on him and say, well, you were a mess and you had to go to rehab several times and you weren't fit to care for her child. And I mean, A, why did she keep it then if it was his? And B, I don't know. There's no B.
Yeah. To me, there's just no. I mean, it makes for a great show, you know, dynamic in the show. But yeah, there's no excuse for what she did because even if he was, you know, well, he was in rehab and things at the time, you know, you still don't deny somebody that's their kid. You can kind of do what Scarlett did and say, you know, I'm not gonna be with you. This is your kid, but I'm not doing this, and then make her choices with Teddy. But to keep that such a secret for so long, it's just.
Well, and for Teddy to go along, I mean, it's gonna be huge and blow up in all their faces. And like, talk about poor Maddie and having daddy issues. Like, she thought she had daddy issues before. Like, now, girl, you have no idea. Like,
but do you think though this like deters you from watching the next season? Because like it makes you sad that they're not going to be together. Obviously, there's bad things that are going to happen, and like we always want them to be together. So, I mean, I don't really want to see that heartbreak.
I feel like it's going to turn into it's going to be Rayna helping him through rehab again. It's just going to go back and it's going to be like, oh, I remember, I mean, maybe we'll get some flashbacks or something, but that's what it's going to be. But now Maddie's involved.
Yeah.
So it's going to be almost like he's reliving like what would have been like being in rehab with a daughter and being still like with Rayna.
I wouldn't mind. I don't want to see him go to rehab. I hope he just does this one time and this is it and he doesn't relapse anymore. But I would love to see them kind of evolve more of their story and go back and show us some of those more flashbacks and see them like before.
Flashbacks would be great.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I just don't want them to stop. I guess they can't continue on as they are because then what do they just sing along and be happy little cutenesses together? Like, yay, everybody's having a great time except for Juliet and Gunnar, you know?
Oh, and Avery's angry too. Avery's still not happy. He's a fame whore. It's gonna come back to him. He is. That's,
you know.
And that's why he's into Scarlett again. She's getting famous.
Oh my God, I just got a prediction. Can somebody remind me? Prediction Avery. Oh, all right. Well then,
we can start predictions.
Oh my God, could we?
Yeah, I think we. Is that all? Is anything else from this episode?
And now,
yeah, probably.
AfterBuzz TV
I think that let's do it.
I predict that Scarlett and Avery are going to become BFFs, and she's going to say that Avery should open for Rayna, not Will, not Gunnar, Avery.
Good one.
That was perfectly timed. I was very impressed with that. Oh my God! I think you go next. I
know we've talked.
I had so many predictions today.
Well, we've kind of talked about them all through. Well, you know, through tonight. I thought they kind of got mine because I thought that they were going to save the Jolene thing until next episode. So that was my prediction. I was coming in with this evening.
They beat you to it.
They sure did.
Well, Brad Paisley's going to be here next week.
Yeah.
Not here. God, I wish.
On the episode.
On the episode.
Well, you had a funny prediction that you would like to see.
I would love to find out that Peggy Kenter was like a groupie for him or something. I mean, we all know she is in real life, but I want to see a scene with them too, and it's so bad. I really, really hope they give that to us. So.
I still am upset that we don't like her character because she's so cute. She really is the cutest person. So
I loved Father of the Bride.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh yeah.
And it's so weird seeing her as like this kind of crazy maniacal, like sneaky,
bunny boiler.
Yeah.
Like family home wrecker.
Right. As Lauren would say, enter Avery.
Yeah. He definitely. Yeah.
Maybe Peggy and Avery will get together.
Oh man.
Interesting. Well, the only news that we had this time was that, which we all talked about, that there is going to be a season 2.
Hey.
So yay for that.
I really need, though, homies to stay together. I can't deal with Deacon and Rayna breaking up. And I really do want to see Juliet turn around. You know, I mean, that's sad. I don't know what's going to happen with her. I predict sadness, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to see her be mean anymore. I hope this really helps her be a better person.
I almost shed a tear.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that was the first time, I think, during the show.
Yeah.
It was a moment.
Yeah.
It was, Mom.
All right, well, where can everybody find you, ladies?
Oh, you guys can find me on Twitter at KeetinM33.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
You sounded like you were gearing up for a whole list.
Nope. That's all I got for you guys today.
Somebody tweet this girl.
Come back next week and find out more.
And you can find me at Jen the Jew on Twitter and Instagram and Vine. And my website is JeniferGolden.com, and I'm on Facebook.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens on Twitter and Facebook. All right, well, thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for our very last episode of the season.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.